To start off with, before we jump into all the deck lists, which we will take a look at here, let's start by looking at the metagame. Shout out to, for anyone who hasn't seen this website before as well, shout out to Robin. This is Robin's new website. Robin always has another website for the PokemonTCG. And this one is like basically a tournament results website. Does this thing update live like during tournaments or no? Is this basically Pokedata but Robin edition? Or is this only here after the tournament has concluded? I actually didn't realize that this thing was maybe a thing that like is live during the tournaments. But over here, let's get rid of this. Currently, it says Raging Ball is the #1 most played deck, but that's just not true. Well, it's true if we don't have the variants off, but you see Dragapult takes #1, 17% of the meta. Gholdengo was actually 14. What does this mean overall versus day 1 versus day 2? Does that mean like day 1 percentage? Like I should be looking at day 1 versus day 2. Oh no, overall is day 1. Okay, overall and day 1 are the same thing in terms of meta share. Okay. These are the numbers that get combined. Just post event. Okay. What's it called though? The site is labs.limitlessTCG.com. He said for now it's only after. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, Dragapult was the most popular deck. Actually, in comparison to what the official stream had, the official stream had Gholdengo at 12%. Here on Robin's site is 14%. Dragapult also had a little bit of an increase here as well. So I don't know who's more accurate. I'm gonna go ahead and say Robin's stat is probably more accurate. So Gholdengo was 14% of the meta. This was definitely a surprise to me. Gholdengo's meta percentage. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was at like 10 because it was getting a lot of hype in the weeks leading up to the tournament. A lot of people were playing it, talking about it. I thought it seemed pretty good. But it being 14%, that's a lot. That's a lot. Dragapult being the most popular, obviously not a huge surprise. And then from there, Raging Bolt. I didn't think Raging Bolt was going to be this popular, but I'm not like surprised by it either. And actually, Tank Terapagos was #4. This might be a little bit of a mix of decks, though. To give an example, so this was 10% of the meta, Terapagos Noctowl. But if we go to standings and look at this build specifically from Keaton Gill, we'll look at this build a little bit more here. I mean, I guess it is Tank Terapagos, but this is not what people, I think of when they think about Tank Terapagos. So, like, all of these kind of Terapagos decks, I believe, are in that percentage there. That probably Terrabox as well. No, Terrabox is under that. Terrabox is right here at 10%. Terrabox, 10%. And this deck had a really poor showing overall at the tournament. We'll see what the highest placing Terrabox is. But yeah, Terrabox is right here. Oh, wait, I want to do... Oops. Variant off. Yeah, there we go. So all the Gholengos are combined. Terapagos Noctowl, 10%. Terrabox, 10%. Then our Chaladon was down here at 7. Guardy here, 5.6. And if you're familiar with the stream graphic, the top 6 that they showed on the stream graphic, dude, I hate how they don't show best of the rest on the stream, bro. That annoys me so much. But these were the top 6 on the stream graphic. And like I said Guardy is probably right here, and it could even be at 7%. A little bit lower than that, 5.6. But it was like right off the top 6. Guardy will definitely be in the top 6 overall play decks at the tournament in the next major for sure. Even though we have a major coming up this week in Monterey, I expect Guardy to make quite a big jump in terms of play percentage. I think it'll either give some confidence in people who are like in between choosing Guardy and something else to pick Guardy, or there's gonna be a lot of people who like jump ship from whatever they were playing to Gardevoir. And actually, there was like a decent drop off between Gardevoir and the next most played deck. And actually, I'm kind of surprised by this one, to be honest. It's Flareon Noctowl. I'm gonna take a look at the list that got top 16 as well. Yeah, Flareon Noctowl here at the 7th most played deck. I mean, it's not a very high meta percentage, right? 2.8, not a huge percentage. It was like it feels like a decent drop off though from Gardevoir to this, like a 3% meta drop off. They have Flareon Noctowl, Charizard still here technically, 2% of the meta, and then we have the decks that people know about, the decks that people play, the decks that are kind of like a question of how good are they right now? Are they even worth playing? Got stuff like your Hopzation here at 1.8. You got Enzork at 1.8. We could take a look at actually specifically other decks, to be honest. We could maybe do that first as far as looking at deck list goes. Melodic here at 1.27. Future Hand, Ceruledge, Feraligatr, Mamoswine, under 1%. And then the rest of the squad down there. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look through this list. What is like the best deck down here that is like under 1% meta share? What do I think is the best deck that is under 1% meta share? Oh, honestly, it's probably I think Frostlass Monkey Dory is probably the best deck that's under 1% meta share for sure. Yeah, obviously there's like a ton of stuff down here at this point, so we don't have to look too far. But yeah, that was the metagame for day 1. And then we go to the metagame for day 2. Dragapult's up to 30%. Gholdengo also saw a rise up to 17%. 17%. Tank Terrapagos / Terrapagos decks that are not Terra Box. 12 Guardy saw a rise, which is to be predicted. I feel like that's like not a surprise there, up to 8%. Archaladon stayed around 7. Raging Ball had a big drop, which is also not a big surprise. I talked about it earlier on in the stream, and then I also mentioned it over the weekend. There's like a trajectory for decks like Raging Bolts where it's like the better people get at the game, the less likely they are to play Raging Bolts, which means the skill level of the players playing Raging Bolt is lower than the average deck in a tournament, which will lead to it having a poor day 1 to day 2 conversion. Not every single time, not every single tournament, and it doesn't mean it's a bad deck or good players don't play it, but it is always going to take a pretty big hit in meta percentage from day 1 to day 2. And we see that here like many times previously. Terra Box also took a pretty big hit, which I'm not hugely surprised by either, though, to be honest. Flareon saw a little bit of an uptick, and then from here, kind of whatever. Some gains, some gains, some non-gains. I mean, Zoroark got a little bit more popular in today too, but it's kind of whatever at this point as we get down to the end of it. Another cool feature here on the site though as well. We got the conversion rate. Wait, what? Only one player played Gouging Fire? What? Is this real? There was only one player playing Gouging Fire. The 100% conversion rate. Dude, how is there not more people playing Gouging Fire? Well, I guess the deck... maybe that's not that big of a surprise, to be honest. Maybe I shouldn't actually be that surprised by that. 100% conversion rate for the one Gouging Fire player. It's possible there were some other Gouging Fire players, and they just didn't make it under the Gouging Fire category, to be honest. There are more Gouging Fires, but it's classified as other because they only ran 2. Okay, that makes way more sense. That makes way more sense. Okay. Espathra, I don't even know what that means. What does Espathra mean? Let's see. Sosa played it. Oh, it's like Espathra in the Frostlass Monkey Dory deck. Is that what all these kind of look like? Yeah. Okay. Let's see here as well. 25% conversion, Roaring Moon. So these decks with like way lower played numbers, their conversion rates don't really matter, to be honest. So the Gouging Fire one is funny, but these don't really matter because the play rate is so low. It's not a big enough sample size to really have a good indication of what the conversion rate probably should be. The real conversion rates start with kind of like Dragapult. 17% conversion rate. Gardevoir 14. Flareon Noctowl 13. Gholdengo 12. Although Flareon Noctowl is also a little bit iffy because its day 1 play rate wasn't that high. It was like, what, 2.8% or something like that. So, but then I would say like, it's like fine conversion rates from there. Take a look at some of the bigger numbers. We can look at the... Oh, so we do it like this. This is what we actually want to see. This is actually... Oh, dude, these tools are so nice. All right, this is what we want to see. We want to say... The highest played decks in day 1, what were their conversion rates? Dragapult was 17, 12 from Gholdengo, 5.8 from Raging Bolt, 12% from Tank Terrapagos. That's pretty good. Not bad. 7% from Terra Box, 9% from Archaladon, 14% of Gardevoir's made day 2, 13% of Flareon, Noctowls, and then from there the numbers get so small it's not really too much worth looking at. Yeah, but yeah, we look at the day 1. Actually, that's really nice that we can just click these to see that. All right, day 1. I do just kind of want to look at other decks a little bit here. We could start with that. I guess we'll go through. If we're going to go through all the deck lists, we'll see them eventually. If I clicked other, I would want to look at the non day 2 lists. Oh, wait, no one playing other made day 2. Really? Oh, yeah, what the heck? All right, let's look at the other decks then. Now, we may as well look at them then. Let's look at the other decks. Let's see what they're played. See if there's anything interesting here. Okay, there's the other Gouging Fires. It's just Gouging Fire Poison Package. Dude, if they're all just Gouging Fire Poison Package, I'm gonna be disappointed. Like Flareon Terra Box. Walking Wake Poison Package. Yo, who is it? Someone in chat has been hyping up Walking Wake to me for a long time now. I don't know if they're in chat right now. Azumarill. All right, I'm less intrigued by this, to be honest. I thought there was gonna be like some more spice. You know, I do like Miraidon Iron Hands, but this has got Noctowls, Crispins. There's some stuff in here. All right, let's take a look at the... I mean, that was the metagame. Saw how it broke down day 1 to day 2. Saw the conversion rates. Here are the standings. I mean, I guess before we jump into deck lists, we can just talk about the standings in general. It was won by Henry Chow with the Gardevoir. There was a 5 Dragapult and cut. Another Gardevoir as well there from Orlando. And then two standalones here. The one of Terapagos knocked out, this is probably the most interesting deck in Top Cut is Keaton Gill's Terapagos. And it's a deck I want to actually play some games with for sure. And then a Gholdengo here, Bodie Robinson with the no draw power, no partner Gholdengo. No draw power, no Dunsparce, nothing like that. But I'm gonna go over to here to see all the deck lists, because what we can do from here is we can go click on this. I can just go ahead and close this site at this point if we're gonna take a look at all the deck lists. Then we can go to deck lists. I don't think this has always been here, but I think Robin added this. Open all. Just open every single deck list. How many actually? Close all? It's 272 players. All right, let's get cooking. Also, of course, winning list here from Henry, and potentially this will be the revolutionizing of Gardevoir in the this may be the revolutionizing of Gardevoir in the current format because of the Zoroark edition here as constant draw power in the deck. So besides the Zoroark, there's nothing too crazy I would say in here. Like, it's a heavy draw support based build. We've seen we've seen the Ionos, the researchers. We've even seen Morty's most recently from the Champions League over in Miyagi. People were playing Morty's Conviction in there. But with adding the Zoroark, having that constant draw power in play, you can kind of bring back Turo into the mix, I feel like, a little bit. I'd be curious if Zoroark does eventually get cut from Gardevoir, do you still play the Turos? My assumption would be no. I feel like the constant draw power to be able to cycle you towards the Turos is like a pretty big deal, but and then with the Zoroark in here, having more ways to find your evolutions is pretty good. And we see this build does play the one of Jack as well, which you don't see in a ton of builds of Gardevoir because it doesn't make a ton of sense. We also did see it. I'll give a shout to Makani. Makani was playing Gardevoir to Dunsparce and also was playing the Jack in there as well, which once again makes a little bit more sense because you're playing more evolutions that synergize with it. Jack's already pretty good to find your Curly and your Gardevoir. So if you have a draw engine to go alongside it, it increases the power of the Jack by that much more with like the Zoroark or having something like the Dunsparce in here. Now, I can't recommend the Dunsparce, not just in Gardevoir, but in literally anything. But Zoroark's pretty cool. So I definitely would recommend trying out the Henry's build. If you're a Guardian Joyer or want to become a Guardian Joyer, I mean, this is what net decking's all about. Go net this deck and start grinding some Gardevoir. What about Gardevoir Pidgeot? I don't hate it. People have brought it up to me before. The problem is you're so reliant on finding like the candy combo to make it work. Whereas like this build is specifically, you slow things down with doing these kind of evolve up. I guess you could play like a one-on-one Pidgeot, but also what trade does for you is like pretty cool. It thins out your deck and it also gets energy in the discard pile. I feel like Zoroark's got to be, my assumption would be that Gardevoir is like your Gardevoir or Zoroark is just so much cleaner and easier to like get going and getting setting up and start cycling your deck. Whereas like Pidgeot is such a large investment and getting there is so much more difficult. Pidgeot wasn't nearly as good enough with how popular Badoo is. That's probably another good point as well. Zoroark is way better against Badoo than Pidgeot. Second place list here from Andrew Hedrick. I mean, it's Dragapult, Dusknoir. I was actually surprised. I didn't actually know for sure, but I assumed that Hedrick, from the games that we saw, that Hedrick only played 2 Duskull. Dude, whenever I watch the little I've played with Dragapult, Dusknoir, which honestly isn't very much, and whenever I watch this deck play, it seems like prizing a Duskull seems terrible, or if a Duskull goes down early, it seems terrible. I'm personally a fan of the idea more so than for sure of the idea of 3 Duskull. I really like the idea of 3 Duskull in this deck because I feel like the Dusknoir line is obviously just so powerful. But yeah, only 2 Duskull here. That's the big standout to me. I was like, I've been high on triple Duskull for a while, but that's why he has 3 Stretcher. Yeah, but you can't Stretcher if you're getting Badooed. My thought process is just like getting your Duskulls to your Dusknoir, getting everything set up. You also can't bench double Duskull as often, as aggressively, if you only play 2 Duskull. But like I said, my experience with the deck in the format is basically 0. So I've just always been a fan of 3 Duskull in the deck, but I could see going down to 2 not being, or being correct, I should say. But that is a good point to make for sure. Hawlucha in here as well. I was saying this before the tournament, and it seems like everyone agrees. Hawlucha should be in Dragapult right now. Killing stuff like Ralts, Fan Rotom. I mean, the list kind of goes on for the Hawlucha, to be honest. You should, if you're playing Dragapult, you should be playing Hawlucha for sure. And then, yeah, triple Night Stretcher in here. Lets you more aggressively cycle your Dusknors. As well as just, I mean, it's just kind of good, right? Getting back a bunch of stuff. So, triple Night Stretcher for the recovery. Triple Counter Catcher and 2 boss. I think most lists I was seeing, to be honest, were either playing... Man, I've seen some lists with 0 boss and 3 Counter Catcher. Most of the lists I was seeing, I feel like, was like 1 boss, triple Counter Catcher. I don't think I saw a ton of lists. Or 2 boss, 2 Counter Catcher. I don't think I've seen many lists with triple Counter Catcher and double boss. I think it was usually like a 2-2 split. Or like a 3-1 split. Boss is too important to mirror. I definitely saw the value of the double boss from the games that Hedrick played. 2 bosses seemed really, really good. Honestly, not even just Hedrick games, but watching Dragapult players play, watching just Dragapult games in general, it was like, if they only play 1 boss, this does not seem like a very good situation. Or it's like, they were often put in situations where it's like, boss is their best play, but if you only play 1 boss, can you really afford to use it right now? So double boss definitely seems very good from all the gameplay I watched over the weekend. Because I was constantly noticing situations where it's like, boss is really good here, but if you only play 1 boss, that feels kind of weird. So double boss definitely seems like the way to go. I guess maybe at that point, then it becomes how many counter catchers should you play? But counter catcher plus Badoo is like such a good early game play. Like sometimes you're going like Itchy Paw on turn 1, they KO your Badoo, and you're just like, all right, second Badoo plus Gust. That's another thing that the Night Stretchers are really, really good for as well, of course, is just recycling Badoos in the early game. Get him back, Pollen again, repeat. We see Hedrick here does have the Earthen Vessel. We saw a lot of people playing the Energy Search, but those are also builds with like a higher energy count as well. The 3 Counter Catchers 2 boss seems like a lot of Goss, but the use cases and matchups for the cards don't overlap very much, so both have counts. Having both counts is really strong. That makes sense for sure. Also, for anyone who's curious, Poke Hawkeye is Hedrick in chat. Do you think Genesect in... Although now I just kind of exposed you, so you might get some questions in chat, Hedrick. Feel free to ignore. Do you think Genesect and Dragapult is cooked? Genesect and Dragapult is cooked? I don't know. It's interesting. It's very, like, with how popular Gholdengo was, I think it was a good call. The question is just, like, you don't really have room for... I would assume you don't have room for Genesect in non... I feel like you don't have room for Genesect in Dusknor Maybe you could squeeze it in there. But I think it was a decent call. A decent call got doxed. I think it was a decent call because of how popular Gholdengo was, to be honest. I think the Genesect was a decent call. Was your overall energy count on Pulse 3-3? Most of the time it's 3-3. We see that here in this build. We'll look at some other builds though, where the energy count's a little bit, or quite a bit different. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. No Crispin EXP shares base. That's definitely something to look at here for sure. No energy retention or acceleration at all in this deck. It is 3 fire energy, 3 psychic energy, 1 earthen vessel, 0 EXP share. EXP share is generally just like best against like Clefairy decks, so you can go back-to-back pulse more consistently. But yeah, 0 EXP share and 0 Crispin. Manual attachments, and that's it. Little mobility with the switch. The Ursaluna's in here as well. That's something I did mention. Ursaluna's in here as well, which is like a good late game attacker, really good against walls, and really good against those Clefairy decks as well. Because if you don't have EXP share or you don't have any way to accelerate energy and play to go back-to-back Dragapults, you can have Ursaluna there to cover you in the end game, mid-game, end game. Supported lineup here for Iono, of course, and then a split on the Arvins and the Researchers. Only 2 Arvin, 2 Research. Of course, only 2 tool cards in here. The Rescue Board, of course, and then the Luxurious Cape. We saw basically every Dragapult player over the weekend playing Bravery Charm or the Luxurious Cape. I'm not sure of all the use cases for the Luxurious Cape, but like Bravery Charm in general is pretty cool to put on your Badoo sometimes to make it a little bit tankier, especially with the non-Dusknor build to combo with Monkey Dory. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But the Luxurious Cape with the extra HP, I mean, you can protect stuff a little bit more easily, like Dreepy or Duskull. And one thing kind of cool with the Luxurious Cape, and I don't know how much of this is a use case for this and how much it actually would come up, but you can like put Luxurious Cape on your Dreepy and then evolve it to Dracloak. But if you do that with Bravery Charm, you could always just put like 7 damage counters on the Dreepy and it literally can't evolve to a Dracloak. But if you play Luxurious Cape, you can go from Dreepy to Dracloak to Dragapult, potentially, or just Dreepy to Dracloak and keep it as a Dracloak as well. So the extra HP obviously gives up extra prize cards if they KO it with damage instead of damage counter spread. But so yeah, it's definitely interesting to see the Luxurious Cape over the Bravery Charm. I'm curious to see where it goes from there. Because I like the idea of the Bravery Charm as for sure for the early game Badoo, but your early game Badoo having a Bravery Charm is like really, really nice. But putting Luxurious Cape on your first Badoo seems a little bit more sus. But the Dusknoir build of Dragapult, I feel like is less reliant on the early Badoo as like the non-Dusknoir build, or something like a Gardevoir with a Bravery Charm, obviously. So you don't need as much time from your Badoo. The other shuttle thing is the extra prize cards effect doesn't proc too many of the common kills, and protecting Dracloak is in mirror / Terror Box. Yeah. Oh, that is true. You can put Luxurious Cape on your bench, Dreepy or Duskull, and it protects from a Water Pond snipe, doesn't it? Right? Whereas the Bravery Charm doesn't do that. Oh, that is interesting. I didn't even think about that interaction. Does Solution make sense in Hopzation? Not sure the deck has the bench space though. As of right now, I have no clue, to be honest. It doesn't seem terrible though. It doesn't seem terrible. Yeah, there's no Stadium. There's no Artisan. Played versus neutralization don't get zoned yesterday and insta-scooped. The neutralization zone could be a problem. Look out. That would be really funny if that becomes an evolution of the meta, is everyone switches to this kind of Dragapult build with no Artisan, and then someone just like plays neutralization zone and just like wins a tournament because of that. Also has some Jacks in here. We'll talk about a couple of the lists that have Pokemon searching supporters. They seem pretty good right now. No Brox, which is something that we saw that was super effective for a couple different players throughout the tournament. But yeah, definitely I think there's some potential for Brox to be pretty good as well. Only one rare candy to get to the... Dude, only one rare candy? Bro. Dude, that makes the top deck from Hedrick even more insane. I didn't even think about that. I just assumed there was maybe 2 in here. But yeah, only one rare candy. So it makes that top deck even funnier, to be honest. And then Unfair Stamp at the A-Spec. No surprise there. That's what everyone's been doing. But yeah. Just like the Guardi list, if you're looking to play Dragapult Dusknoir, this is the place to start, it feels like. All right, so here are the other builds of Dragapult that we saw in Top Cut. This is one of them. Actually, 3 of the builds of Dragapult in Top Cut were non-Dusknoir. This is one of them. Tanner Hurley. There was a couple players, or quite a few players, playing this build of Dragapult. And it's the no Dusknoir, Ursaluna Monkey Dory. We saw this last format a little bit as well. The Fernandez brothers are really the ones who like pioneered and popularized this style of Dragapult, I would say for sure. The Ursaluna, the Monkey Dory instead of the Dusknoir. In this build specifically, they also have the Genesect in here, which for anyone who doesn't know what the Genesect does, that ability says if you have a tool attached to your Genesect, your opponent can't play an A-Spec. So this build is pretty cool. I would assume this build is favored in Mirror. I can't think of another reason to play this build besides that. Although I think moving forward, I think that to me, I would assume this build has a worse Gardevoir matchup. Although people in chat have been saying different. I would assume this build has a worse Gardevoir matchup for sure. But I actually don't know for sure. It's kind of just my assumption. But still Dragapult, of course. Badoo, Fez. You still have Hawlucha, of course. You're always playing Hawlucha. Only 2/2 energy, huh? Well, you have 3 Luminous Energy here. 3 Luminous Energy. And the reason you play the Luminous Energy is so you don't have to play... Is like in placement of basic Dark Energy. So you can attach the Luminous Energy to the Monkey Dory. The only thing that can get weird... The only thing that can get weird with the Luminous Energy, of course, is that you can't put 2 Luminous Energy on a Dragapult, because then they count as nothing. So it has to be like Luminous plus a Psychic or a Fire. Luminous is kind of nice with Dragapult because you have the flexibility of, if you find Luminous first, then if you find Psychic or Fire, it doesn't matter. Either of them become the other energy out. So it's kind of, as far as energy outs go, it's kind of like the same thing, right? Because if you play 3 Psychic, 3 Fire, and you attach Fire first, the Fires aren't outs anyways. But now if you attach the Luminous first, your Psychics and your Fires are out. So actually, with that in mind, you actually have more outs on average. And it also covers your Dark Energy type for the Monkey Dory. Yeah, there's 4 Arven. I see y'all talking about the Arven in the chat, specifically Jake. Arven seems terrible. No Jack and no Brock definitely seems incorrect. I feel like that is going to be an instant upgrade to this build of the deck, is to include Brock or Jack or both, just some combination of that. And we'll actually take a look at a list similar to this that has Brock and Jack here in just a second. But I feel like that is an instant upgrade to this deck, is including some of those Pokemon search supporters. Also still has 2 boss, 3 counter catcher. Seems like everyone came to that conclusion. A little bit heavier tool count here. Does have the EXP share. And the Bravery Charm. I mean, games are a little bit longer with this build of Dragapult because you don't have Dusknoir to kind of speed up the pace of the game. So the EXP share makes a little bit more sense for sure. Defiance Band, Rescue Board. Although I know Gabriel Fernandez was in chat over the weekend flaming the Defiance Band. Despite the Genesect existing in here, which you want more tool cards for, I could see second Rescue Board being better, to be honest, because Rescue Board on the Genesect is kind of what you want on it. Bravery Charms for your Badoo or your Dreepy. So second Rescue Board to activate the Genesect seems kind of nice. And honestly, I think Genesect was a pretty cool inclusion for the weekend because of how popular Gholdengo was specifically. But even then, it also has like its place in, I mean, even in like Mirror Match or even potentially Gardevoir. I guess Gardevoir less so. Mirror Match, just any matchup that plays Unfair Stamp. Just shutting down their Unfair Stamp is just kind of nice, to be honest. So Genesect to shut down the Unfair Stamp is kind of nice for sure. Also, Energy Search over Vessel. Dude, I just think this makes no sense. Like, yeah, I think Energy Search over Vessel makes 0 sense. You should be able to find a card that you can discard. I saw someone in chat say something like, they found that they would always shuffle the second energy to the bottom of the deck with Iono. Just don't take the second energy if you don't think you should take the second energy. Like, yeah, this makes the Energy Search, I feel like, is cap for sure. I think this should definitely just be a Vessel. And then figure out what to discard. You got it. You got it. You can figure it out. Make it work. We got Jones here with, once again, same thing. Dragapult, no Dusknoir, Ursaluna, Monkey Dory, Hawlucha, no Genesect as well in this one. And we see this one does have the Jax and the Brox, but this build still actually has 4 Arven in it. And 2 Crispin. Oh my gosh. 2 Crispin. No Crispin. Just the HP share. No Crispin. 2 Crispin. All right. Things are changing up for this one. Shuffling second energy is a function, not a bug. Energy searches for Luminous? No. Energy search searches out basic energies. Energy search can't get non-basic energies. It's not, yeah. That would be pretty good, though. That'd be pretty good. Then you should play Energy Search. Then I would agree. Energy Search makes a ton of sense. Energy Search would make a ton of sense in this build if it could get Luminous Energy. It cannot. Actually, is another interesting difference as well. Hedrick with triple Dragapult, which does kind of make a lot. If we're in Badoo's world, can't use Ultra Ball. Also does have Jax to work with that as well, I guess. But we go down to these lists, only 2 Dragapult, only 2 Dragapult. And we actually saw that a decent amount throughout the tournament. So I think that's something we'll definitely see Dragapult players adjust to, including higher counts of stuff like Jack and Brock Scouting, or even Dragapult EX itself. There was many times where the Dragapult player could not find Dragapult, and they had to just use Badoo again, when they were in situations where like Dragapult was like a pretty good attacker. I think we saw that come up a decent amount, where it's like the Dragapult player wants to swing here, because they're either falling further behind in the Badoo war. They're losing the Badoo war, usually to a Gardevoir player. They're losing the Badoo war. Or they just have like a good combo with Boss in hand, but they just don't have the Dragapult. I don't like the Pult. I think Brock / Jack are better than it. I can see that being true. I can see it being true that you just want more of the supporters. They're good for more use cases, right? To get getting Dracloak online is like the most important part of the deck, right? To begin with, so. But yeah, this list a little bit different. 4 Iono, 4 Arven still, so heavy on the Arven. Has Crispin here, has some form of energy acceleration, no research, 2 Turo, which is something we see absent from all the other builds. This list is actually kind of crazy in comparison to the other ones. It's like these 2 builds, no Crispin, no Turo, and then this one's like, all right, 2 Crispin, 2 Turo. I don't know when the Turo's really coming up that often, to be honest. I could not tell you. Crispin obviously is in there to accelerate energy into play. Yeah, the 2 Turo. Oh, that's just like a lot of Turo. I don't know. That's like a lot of Turo. That's a lot of Turo for a deck that can't afford to Turo its main attacker very often. Double Monkey or Hawlucha? I guess, yeah, you can double Monkey or Hawlucha. Turo for the Ursaluna if you start it. I mean, I don't know if I want to play 2 Turo in case I open an Ursaluna. Maybe I would rather just play 4 Badoos, so I just don't open Ursaluna as often. Turo's like such a slow card in a deck that is already pretty slow. They heard Henry Brand's video on Twitter. Yeah, maybe. We already have Switch for like some aggressive mobility, right? Like, oh, 2 Turo's just a lot. Yeah, 2 Turo's a lot for a deck where you can't really afford to Turo your Dragapult very often when it gets hit. So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Unfair Stamp still, of course. Super Rod and Night Stretcher. Of course, Super Rod does have synergy with Crispin, so that makes a little bit more sense there. 2 Boss, 3 Counter Catcher. 2 cards, Defiance, Bravery Charm, and the Rescue Board. Only 3 Ultra Ball. But yeah, the Brock Scouting, the Jackson here. 1 Artisan. 2 Artisan in this build. And then, yeah, I saw someone making a point of it in chat that no Artisans in Hedrick's build as well, as far as the Artisans go. Or as far as the stadiums go. No stadium at all. Specifically, no Artisan, which I think makes sense. I think Abon even said it in chat. Like, you just don't want to give your opponent more stuff when you're Badooing them. If you're Badooing them, why would you want your out to Artisan to be a Badoo instead of just like, you know, playing more Nest Balls or more Badoos or more Buddy Poffins or a Brox or something? Let that be out. You're out for your Badoo. Because if you're using Artisan to get your Badoo, then you're giving your opponent Artisan, which means your item lock is going to be that much less effective as the game progresses. So that makes a lot of sense. Sebastian here was playing the exact same 60 as Jones. Abon was playing the exact same 60 as Hedrick, so there's nothing to look at there. And then we get to Orlando here playing Gardevoir. Not the secret box build. No Zoroark, no draw engine in general besides the Pheasantipity and the Mew, which we also saw Henry running. But this build is the Brilliant Blender build. So it's got the Blender. This is kind of like more what we had been seeing. Like, this is like basically... Yeah, nothing in here is like, oh, I guess the only thing that stands out to me is the boss's orders. Most builds of Gardevoir I had been seeing were not playing boss at all. This list actually only plays one Buddy Poffin as well. There's only one Buddy Poffin in here. One Buddy Poffin, 3 Nest Ball, 2 Artisan, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Rare Candy. So not a ton of Pokemon search. But you're not trying to set up as much in Gardevoir decks as you used to be. You're not trying to go wide with a bunch of Ralts and then make them all Refinement Curlias. You need 1 Ralts, maybe 2 Ralts, depending on the situation. 1 Ralts, maybe 2 Ralts, depending on the situation. And then you just get into the Badoo. You need very little Pokemon in this deck these days. So I like the boss. I like the boss as well. You definitely want to play boss if you can fit it. And we can take a look at the Henry list up here. No boss in this one. 2 counter catcher. This build, 2 counter catcher with the boss. I mean, boss is a good card. If you can play it, you want to play it. Look at Orlando's actual run. It's crazy. He didn't lose to anyone than Drake and Henry. How do we do that? So I go up here. I can take a look at people's runs on this, right? Like their whole tournament. Orlando. Oh, yeah, here we go. So tied Jonathan Wright, then lost to Hedrick. Tied Bodie to make cut, and then lost to Henry. Well, there was this tie to Jonathan Wright, but yeah. Yeah, lost to Hedrick. ID'd with Bodie, I assume, to make top cut, and then lost to Henry eventually. We take 3 prizes if Cape is on Pult? No, because the effect only activates if it's on a non-rule box Pokemon. That's Orlando's build here. Then we got Keaton Gill here with a very cool Terrapagos. Like, I'm excited to try this deck out. I don't know if I'm going to play it today or tomorrow, but it's Terrapagos, Pidgeot. It is still kind of tank Terrapagos. You still have the Bouffalants in there. So it is tank Terrapagos, but it has the Pidgeot in there, I guess. Yeah, I really like this list. Very few basic energy. Still pretty reliant on Crispin, obviously. There's some jet energy in here as well. But yeah, very cool build. Prime Catcher is the ace spec. Only one. It's a 1-1-1 Pidgeot line. 1 Pidgey, 1 Pidgeot, 1 Rare Candy. Please don't be prized. Volcanion EX is sick for Dango. The Volcanion EX is sick for Dango for sure. Yeah, the Volcanion EX is super cool as a Dango out. Why is there a Lighting Energy there? I think they just wanted a third type of energy in the deck to make Crispin more consistent. I think that the Lighting Energy in there is literally just there to make Crispin more consistent. So it can allow you to, like, depending on how you draw your energy and stuff like that. And like you play Lighting Energy over other energy because of Lavencia. How is it effective for Dango? Because Terrapagos only hits for 240 damage, but if you get the burn damage from Volcanion, you're doing 260. And it dies to burn, so it doesn't trigger Flip the Script. Yeah, the Lightning is here just to make Crispin more smooth, to make Crispin smoother. And if you play against someone playing Lavencia, you can use it. It's kind of just like, what's it called? But yeah, this deck's super cool. I'm excited to try this one out here from Keaton. All right, Bodie Robinson with the straightforward Gholdengo. No partner. Go. No partner. No Zoroark. No Dunsparce. No Revavroom. No Caesar. No Dragapult. Literally just Gholdengo in the squad. Straightforward as possible, basically. 2 Lightning alongside the 2 Dark. Interesting. Just in case you hit Lavencia. I guess just in case you play against Lavencia Stadium, right? Just in case. Double Lightning without Lavencia is weird. I mean, the thought process here is... The thought process is Bodhi thinks it's correct to play 12 basic energy. And instead of playing like a 3rd dark energy, it's better to play a multiple of a different energy to increase the potential value of your energy search pro. So with that in mind, you just go to a second Lightning over all the other types, because in case you play against someone playing Levencia, you can take maximum value out of from their Levencia, or get more aggressive value from their Levencia if you discard one Lightning early. The other argument would be to play like a Water for Iron Bundles attack, which you never use, or a second Psychic for Monkey Doors attack, which again you never use. But honestly, the Psychic's not a bad shout. I actually have used Mind Bend in Gholdengo a couple times, so the Psychic is not a bad shout for sure. Yeah, Psychic's not a bad shout, but Lightning's reasonable as well. Yeah, I guess it depends on how popular Levencia is in the format, to be honest. If it's not that popular at all, which honestly it's not that popular right now, second Psychic is probably the way to go. But then it becomes more popular, you add the Levencia. You also kind of bluff Levencia to stop them, but do decking you out. That is true. If your opponent sees 2 Lightnings in your discard pile, they might think twice about your own Levencia and then adjust. But we see, yeah, Bodhi literally, because of the lack of partner, you can play all of the tech cards and also play 4 Arven and 4 Cypher Maniac in here as well. I don't know how I feel about 4 Cypher Maniac. One of the determinations I've come to with Gholdengo is that like turn 1 Arven is just so important for the deck, it feels like. I feel like more Pokegears is better than the 4th code breaking, but you're able to play 2 Boss in the Counter Catcher and the Iron Bundle, double TM Evo, Super Rod, double Night Stretcher. Like this deck, you just have all the extra consistency cards you'd want because you don't play a partner, so you get to play everything you want in here basically. The only thing like is kind of missing is maybe like second Iono, but that's like about it. Even then, the second Iono's not that good. 1 Iono is basically all you need most of the time. So, Ninja Mean Cypher is dead turn 1, unfortunately. Not exact. I want to say exactly. Why do you need Rod? Rod is just nice to be able to more aggressively reuse the Baby Dango against Solo Stone techs, but that's what the Rod is nice for. No Ninja Mean Cypher is dead turn 1, unfortunately. It's not exactly dead. Like if you have Poffin into Cypher, then that says for like your Team Evo next turn or your Big Swing next turn. It's obviously not great. Yeah, it's obviously not great. Here's Grant Manley's Gholdengo Dragapult. Nothing crazy in this build either. Has Eventual Punch for the Pikachu, 2 TM Evo, Crispins, 2 Night Stretcher. Although I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest. I think 1 Super Rod, 1 Night Stretcher makes way more sense if you're going to be running Crispin to get more value to that more consistently. But when you use Iono and Dingo at the end of the game, basically to make a comeback, 2 Counter Catcher, 2 Boss. Is Grant's list a reel or a pile? I mean, it's just Gholdengo Dragapult. I'm personally just not a huge fan of Gholdengo Dragapult in general, but no water energy. Yeah, I also don't like the no water energy. I would probably cut the dark energy and add the water energy. Or maybe cut the psychic. I don't know, cut one of them for a water, something like that. It's too bad Grant finished ahead of Means. Flareon being ahead of him would have made the memes even better. Definitely. Could you cut the 2 Cybernetics and another card from Bodhi's list for a 1-on-1 Pidge? Chill out, Yella. Chill out. I mean, you could. I honestly just don't think Pidgeot's actually that good in Gholdengo. I think you need more. You want more draw power. I think playing something like Zoroark is better than Pidgeot because Zoroark early game cycles your deck and discards dead cards. And then sometimes Pidgeot getting a solo card isn't enough. Sometimes you need like a lot of cards at the end of the game. So I think something like Zoroark, and it's also like just more consistent to get online, right? If you play a 2-2 Zoroark instead of a 1-1-1 Pidgeot, like the 1-1 Pidgeot almost demands you use TM Evo, but playing a 2-2 Zoroark, you don't need to TM Evo it out, stuff like that. Energy Surge Pro getting only 7 energies makes the opponent think the water energy is prized. Bro, all this bluffing talk in chat, bro. Double Lightning, could have Levencia. No water, gotta be prized. You don't want their prize cards, but then it turns out you don't because they just don't play it. I guess one thing to mention here about Bodhi's list as well, Bodhi chose not to play a tool card for Pikachu. No tool card for Pikachu. Does have the Iron Bundle though, which Iron Bundle is pretty good against that to like just make sure you can get a prize card turn to turn, but 1-1 Pidgeot sounds good to me. So yeah, no tool to deal with Pikachu. But also making the call that Terra Box probably wouldn't perform very well would have been a decent call going to the tournament. All right, here's the Eevee box from Jonathan. Dude, I really want to try this deck. Dude, watching people play this deck makes this deck look so sick. Just like has to see more play moving forward. It could. I guess it just kind of depends on how confident you are in your Gholdengo matchup to begin with. If you're not that confident, then teching for it definitely makes sense for sure. 1-1-0 line to bluff the Pidgeot, genius. But yeah, this deck's super sick. Definitely one of the top decks I want to try post tournament. I mean, even pre tournament, I really want to try the Flareon. Sylveon deck just because the deck looks sick with the Angelite attack from the Sylveon. And then this Eevee, actually, specifically, we saw Jonathan use, I think, both games on stream. This Eevee with the Colorful Friends attack. For a colorless energy, search your deck for 3 different Pokemon of different types. This Eevee is, like, super good against Badoo. Just, like, against Badoo in general. This is, like, gives you so much value under a Badoo lock. But yeah, the Noctowl build, 2 Area 0. I've actually seen some lists with only 1 Area 0, and I kind of like the idea of that, to be honest. But I don't have too much to say about this one, to be honest. Is playing Unfair Stamp. Actually, I guess some big takeaways from Jonathan's list is playing Unfair Stamp over Crystal. What about Cyrano? Dude, how do you pronounce it? There's no Cyrano in here. Palpad seems meh. Palpad sucks. I will say that. Palpad is just a terrible card. Cyrano, I think is just better with Crystal. I think that has to be the reasoning here, to be honest. It's because of the lack of Crystal, Cyrano's value also drops in the deck heavily. Because you can't go like turn 2 Crystal Cyrano, get your squad, plus set things up. So I think that's probably the reason there, to be honest, for the lack of Cyrano. Cyrano's just the worst colorful friends. Well, I don't know about that, but run over Palpad. Cyrano. I don't think Cyrano is very good if you don't play the Crystal. Because I think using it aggressively is really, really cool. But past then, like a Terra Orb will get you what you need. So this is probably the deck that gets the most value out of Terra Orb, to be honest. Being able to like search out a Flareon or a Sylveon, or even your EVEX. Well, EVEX you can get with Nest Ball. But yeah, your Sylveon or your Flareon, instead of having to Ultra Ball for those, being able to Terra Orb for them is like super, super sick. For like efficiency's sake. Cyrano. I don't like 3 Ultra Ball, to be honest. I'd rather do 2-2 Ultra Ball Terra split. I could see that. The Terra Orbs are pretty good. Definitely very good. But yeah, you lose a little bit of aggression because of the lack of the Crystal. So you can't do stuff like turn 1 Flareon, although that's like not realistic most of the time anyways. Here is the Isaiah Chaville's Poison Package Archaludon. I mean, this looks like a pretty standard list to me. There's nothing crazy that stands out here to me in his build. Send some players to the retirement home this weekend, though. Love to see it. I think I saw him a tweet on Twitter. He got 5 donks. I think he said he got 5 donks with the poison package. 3-3 split on tools. Is it usually 4-4? Is that like light on the tools compared to the average list? I don't like Mew and Latios in this EV box. I mean, Latios is for like the aggressive mobility, and then Mew is just for like game draw power, I think. They're not like trying to both be pivot cards, really. 3-3 is normal? Oh, okay. Pechiex is new. Well, Pechiex has to be for like Water Pawn, right? That's the reason you play the Pechiex. So they can't buy too much time with their Water Pawn, I would assume. But yeah, nothing crazy. Dragapult's Noctowl from Hunter. We saw Hunter play on stream. I mean, pretty standard build, I feel like, for Tank Terrapago. Something crazy. He's playing the Prime Catcher. I think it's that's the number one question I get asked about this deck is what A-Spec is correct. My answer is I don't know. But we see Hunter here with the Prime Catcher. I tried out Unfair Stamp most recently. Dude, Unfair Stamp is just so good with Noctowl decks. I don't know. Just play Unfair Stamp. Because even if you're in a bad matchup, if they take a knockout, you can win. Dragapult from Rowan. This is the exact same build as Tanner, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the exact same build as Tanner, so we already went over that. Poison Archaludon from Preston. This one is actually cool because it's the trolley build. Now, I have seen the trolley build before, so this isn't like 100% new to me, but I like this way more. This is way cooler than other builds of Poison Archaludon. And I am going to play with this deck today. Or that's the plan. What time is it? It's already 2:20. The plan is to play with this deck today. This actually might be the first deck I play with today. Because I just love Trolley. Trolley is just a sick card. Even though there's a Poison package in here. And y'all know how I feel about the Poison package. The fact that there's a Trolley in here means I'm going to probably try this one out today. For sure. Another Tank Terrapagos here. This one did actually have Genesect in it. Tank Terrapagos with the Genesect. I don't hate that for the Gholdengo tech. The Gholdengo matchup is pretty bad. I feel like this is a Trolley build. Oh, what the heck is this from Asher here? Trolley Tank Terrapagos. Oh, this is the other A-Spec. Is Soda in chat? Okay, the Trolley in this deck does not seem terrible. There have been many times when playing this deck where the Trolley could have been pretty good. But there's no Poffin in here, which I don't like. But there's the ADH. There's 4 ADHPs, I guess. There might be something here for sure. There might be something here. I don't hate this for sure. Yeah, I definitely don't hate the idea of Trolley in here. I don't like the 2 Crispin, but There could be something here for sure. One Brox. I guess the Brox is just like a better nest ball. I do find myself often only needing basic Pokemon and going Noctowl for nest balls. Being able to go Noctowl for Brox, honestly, is kind of cool. We already have Trolley in here now as well, so I don't know if I like the Brox. That feels like overkill. That kind of feels a little overkill, to be honest. The Brox and the Trolley. And then also the Penny and the Turo. Like, chill. I feels like there's a lot of overkill in this deck, I'm not going to lie. I feels like there's a lot of overkill in those areas. Penny and Turo, Trolley and Brox. No Poffin? Well, I guess we have the 80s, but we'd go to some 70s if we played Poffin, obviously. 2 Crispin is fine if you have Vessel. I could see that. I could see that for sure. Vessel is definitely something that I've added to my most recent build of Tank Terrapagos. I put the Vessel in my build as well, because I just want a way to get energy that doesn't involve me playing my supporter for turn. Are there 8 balls in a Trolley deck? The Trolley is literally really good on turn 2 when you go wide. Like, you go, like, Evolve to Noctowl, get Area 0 plus Trolley, and then you get, like, 3 to 5 Pokemon off Trolley. Because otherwise it's like, am I going to grab 3 Nest Balls? Now, when it can get double Hoot Hoot comfortably, but usually you want like some different Pokemon in there. You want like the Genesect or the Bouffalance or something like that. The Trolley is like really, really good turn 2. That's where the Trolley is really, really good in this deck, is turn 2. I'll probably try the Trolley build at some point, to be honest. Why without Arven seems odd. It's literally for, like, literally the Trolley is you go Noctowl, get Area 0, get Trolley, play the Trolley to get, like, your last 3 to 4 Pokemon. So you get, like, your Mew and your Dippity, your Latias and your Monkey Dory, like, whatever you need for the matchup. If you're up against a matchup where you want the Bouffalance, you get your double Bouffalance, stuff like that. It's literally to, like, fill the gap on turn 2 to get your clean setup. Now, I don't know if it's correct, but I definitely, when playing the deck, I had situations where I was like, yo, Trolley's just kind of sick here. Because Soda kept kind of pushing the propaganda in chat, so it made me think about it. We got Jose here with the Dragapult, Dusknoir, and Jose actually is playing Monkey Dory in here as well. Actually, I'm curious. Almost everyone was playing Dragapult with Ursaluna, right? Like, everyone had Ursaluna. Yeah, like, everyone had Ursaluna, right? But no one did it all. Jose was the only one to do it all. Jose's got Dragapult, Dusknoir, Ursaluna, and Monkey Dory in here. The one of basic Dark Energy. And we saw Jose play against Jonathan Means on the win-in for cut, and played really well in game 2, and ended up tying, unfortunately. It's got Jack in here, 4 Arvins, 4 Iono, of course. Does play the one of Crispin. That's like the big standout here from this list. Also does have a Turo in here. Does have the Turo. Really light. Actually, in comparison to what everyone else was playing, Jose is really light on the Gust effects. 1 boss, 2 counter catcher. So really light on the Gust effects compared to everyone else. Dominic here. Oh, Dominic did it as well, but Dominic doesn't have the Ursaluna, actually. So Dominic also is doing it. Dusknoir and Monkey Dory, but no Ursaluna. I feel like the Ursaluna is like too important. Maybe not. A little bit lighter on the Gust as well. Still has 1 boss, 3 counter catcher, though. And then only 3 Iono. Super heavy on the Arven. Jake was saying this earlier in chat. He doesn't think Arven's that good right now to be playing 4 of them. In a build, dude, I feel like if you don't have 4 Iono first, I feel like 4 Iono's got to come before Arven for sure. Does have Jamming Tower in here as well. I guess good against other Dragapults. Rocking the Crystal against Gardevoir, it's good as well. We might see more Tower in the future from Dragapults to deal with the Gardevoir matchup a little bit. Frank with the Gardevoir list, same 60 as Henry, so we already talked about that. Lane Harding here with a Dragapult build. It is the Monkey Dory, Ursaluna, Genesect, Triple Badoo. To open that guy more often. Penny? I guess it's like almost just for the Ursaluna and the Fez, right? To reset those. I also you can get the Monkey Dory reset, I guess, with the Penny as well, which is kind of cool. He's playing a Super Rod, no Night Stretcher. Does have 2 Crispin in here for the energy acceleration. Triple Jack. Still has the 4 Arven. Halucha reset. Yeah, also the Halucha reset. Yeah, Triple Jack, no Brox. Energy acceleration with the Crispin. No EXP share, just 1 Bravery Charm and the 1 Rescue Board. And also a Defiance Vest, which I don't know what matchups that lines up super well into. I'm sure they exist, though, where the Defiance Vest feels pretty good, but I'm not sure. With the Monkey Dory healing as well, I'm sure there's matchups where the Vest plus what's called lines up. Also, if your opponent's first Badoo KOs your Badoo, then you can go Defiance Vest Badoo, and then that Badoo takes 0 damage. So that's like the real reason to play the Defiance Vest. So when you lose the initial Badoo in the Badoo War, your second Badoo is an invincible Badoo. Genius. Obviously it's not that good because you play the Monkey Dory. You'd rather be Monkey Dory in them, but it's broken. Dragapult, Dusknoir, Badoo. This one has Klefki. The only Klefki we've seen in the Dragapults up to this point, actually. It's the only Klefki we've seen. Klefki's good against Noctowl decks. Noctowl decks didn't perform that well overall in this tournament, I would say. They didn't do terribly. Also, I'm not sure how big of a difference it actually makes to include the Klefki in that matchup. Because they're going to be choosing first. You're going to be choosing first. So, yeah, but that's why the Klefki's there. It's basically just there for fan rotom at this point. I guess Squawkabilly, it shuts down Squawk. They're actually playing Squawk themselves in here. It does shut down the Squawk as well. Dealing Gun with the Dragapult. Nothing crazy in this build. John Ang, Dragapult. I believe it's the exact 60 that Hedrick played. Here we see a Dragapult from Casey with a 1-1 for Rigarav. Which, just on Latias 2 and Ogerpon and Fez. Well, Fez would be a kind of a weird shutdown, but you are right. It does shut down Fez. I guess you could like leave it in your active if you take a knockout with... You could take a knockout with Dusknoir and leave Klefki in your active, I guess. Ooh, that kind of cooks, actually. Fergaraf is in here for Raging Bolt, I guess. Dusknoir, yeah. I guess that's going to have to be how Dragapult decks operate eventually, right? Is they're going to have to play Klefki so they can actually use it around the Psyduck. Yeah, I'm not sure about the 1-1 Fergaraf at all, to be honest. Double Monkey Dory, double Dark Energy. So we're trying to Dory a lot in this build. Fairy? I guess. Terrabox, right? It's good against Terrabox. Good against Tank Turtles, yeah. Okay. It's got some, but the thing is, like, devoting this space to these cards, to two cards that aren't good in the mirror match, seems kind of bad. Guardy, is it actually good against Guardy though? They're just gonna punch you with their Gardevoir EX and Monkey Dory damage to your side of the field. Like, I don't think this thing's not actually good against Gardevoir. The Fergaraf EX is not actually good against Gardevoir. Yeah, it stops Clefairy from KOing you, but I don't think if you're using it, Gardevoir doesn't care that they can't use Clefairy. You can put it in play as a first attacker. They can't wipe you with Mew. Nah, that ain't happening. It ain't lining up like that. No shot. Can Dragapult Dusknoir be good with Crystal? Because I templated my list, Hedrick's list in mine, but minor differences with Crystal being one. Crystal is just worse. Actually, Crystal, moving forward, Crystal might be the way to go, because if people stop playing Terrabox, you don't need Unfair Stamp as much. So Crystal actually might be the way to play Dragapult moving forward, to be honest, because of that. Like, if you're not afraid of Terrabox anymore, you don't... It's not that Unfair Stamp is bad, it just becomes less good. Yeah, I see it. Kind of catch a Guardian KO loaded Drifloon. That's just not a play that happens, though. They're not going to have a Drifloon loaded if you're setting up Fergaraf. These are all fake plays. All right, Fabrizio. Nothing crazy. Brox, Jax. Crystal was on the Crystal, though. Was playing the Crystal. Maybe Fabrizio a little bit ahead of the curve. Knew Terrabox was going to suck, so threw the Crystal in there. Possibly. Matthew Burris with the Guardy. And I believe this is the same build that Brent also played, right? Someone mentioned in chat, no Poffin, right? 4 Iono, 4 Research, 3 Counter Catcher, 3 Monkey Dory. No Poffin, no Poffin. I don't know how I feel about no Poffin. Also the Cleffa. Also the Cleffa in here is interesting as well. I guess Cleffa's probably good against matchups like Raging Bolts, would be my assumption. Like against Raging Bolts, you really want to be... Against Raging Bolt, you really want to be using Badoo against them while they're just like drawing prize cards over and over. So I can see like that matchup. You'd rather hit up Cleffa sometimes. I mean, I guess in any matchup, you'd maybe rather hit up Cleffa depending on like the situation, obviously. But yeah. 4 Research, 4 Iono. No Poffin. That's the big standout here. Secret Box still. 3 Vessel. 7-3 on the Energy. 4 NS, 4 Ultra still for search. And the 2 Artisan. Yeah. Seems fine. Seems decent. Here's Jake Gearhart's build. Alucha, Ursaluna, the Badoos. 3 Iono. 3 Iono? Only 2 Arvin. I see Jake in chat hating on the Arvins. Needs improvement, but was overall solid. Is Jake's thoughts leaving the tournament? Did have some form of energy acceleration, has the Crispin, and has some energy retention in the EXP share. 3-3 split in the energy, Unfair Stamp, of course. 2 Jack and the 1 of Brock scouting. Dude, I swear that Sebastian and Jones were both playing 2 Brocks. I guess it was just 1 Brock. We saw someone else playing 2 Brocks then, I guess. Wait, was it Fabrizio? No, Fabrizio. Dude, Is everyone just playing one Brock? I swear someone had 2 Brocks. I might just be tripping though. Dragapult enough. I'd rather play more Brocks, less Jack. I could see it, to be honest. I could see it. Dracloaks. It's all about the Lokes. Lokes and Dusknors. All right, Caleb Patton with a Gholdengo build. It is the Zoroark build. It does have the Leafeon EX in here as a tech card to deal with Cornerstone. Has the Baby Go as well. 2 Turo. 2 TM Evo. 1 Lavencia Stadium. Lavencia does have some synergy with Zoroark. I don't think it's like necessary to run with Zoroark. But yeah, the Lavencia does have some synergy with Zoroark because you need extra discard fodder for the trades, especially after you get like Iono. Callie had 2 Brocks. Oh, it was Callie. Yeah. That makes sense. I knew there was someone. 2 Team Evo. Only 1 Ultra Ball. You don't see that very often. Only the 1 Ultra Ball. Playing the 12 energy as well. Actually, is doing the double lightning and the double dark. I felt like everyone was coming down to like 11. Do you kind of like need? Do you need 12 to like line up into Badoo well? Maybe I'm like missing something in the Badoo matchup where you need the extra energy. 2 Turo as well. Like I said, Leafeon's in here as the counter for the Cornerstone. Does that just beat walls in general? Actually, if you play Leafeon, do you just beat walls with what's this thing do again? 6 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Is walls an auto win with this thing? Maybe. Nathan Ginsburg. Dragapult Pidgeot. It's been a while since I've seen Dragapult Pidgeot. Only a 101 Pidgeot. 2 rare candy in here. No Dusknor. Lucha Ursaluna, Monkey Dory. I don't know, Pidgeot to do... honestly, the way I feel about Pidgeot in Dragapult, I think it's just unnecessary. I think you cycle the deck enough with your Dracloaks. Pidgeot just feels unnecessary to me, to be honest. But in this slower... I don't know, but it's like if you're playing Slowpoke, you really want to be putting candies in Slowpoke? Like a 1 of candy is like kind of cool in Slowpoke, but then it's like... Now you got to play like 2 candy because you're playing Pidgeot. Otherwise, you're like adding a bunch of cards that are going to get no value. I don't know. Whenever I see Dragapult players play games, I feel like they see enough cards with just Dracloaks. I feel like Dracloak just does enough. I don't know. It does counter Stamp, but so does Genesect. I wouldn't even say a counter Stamp. Being able to quick search for a single card, I wouldn't say it's a counter to Stamp. Like, it's obviously, it's just good to have any draw power when you get reset Stamp, but 50 HP Pidgey is criminal. The 50 HP Pidgey is a little sus here for sure. Genesect, I feel like once again, it seemed like a decent call going into the weekend in general with how much Gholdengo there was, but Pidgeot's a thought. Built here from Keon. This is the exact same 60 that it's the Hedrick 60. It's Hedrick 60. Mark Perry. Gholdengo to Dunsparce. Got a Klefki in here. Klefki with the 2 retreat. Give me goals. But because you are playing the Dunsparces, you have more 1 retreaters to actually get into the Klefki turn 1. Okay, all right, that's criminal. That 3 Arven is criminal, bro. I just gotta call that out. That is no Pokegear, 3 Arven. We still got the 2 TM Evo as well. Absolutely, we gotta be TM Evo in turn 1, bro. If we're not 3 Poffin, well, all right, I'm going next. I can't handle that one. All right, Luke Smith, Flareon, Sylveon, Crystal. This is it's nothing too crazy in this build, but it's got the Crystal, which is like kind of the norm, to be honest. The Crystal. So why play the Henry Chow 1-2 lineup by... I'm not sure what you're asking there, Mitchie. Why play the Zoroark? The Zoroark's just like a draw engine in the deck. You can play more ones of playing Pidgey, I guess. I mean, not really. I don't think that really tracks, to be honest. Another to Dunsparce, Gholdengo, 1-1 Scizor. I've been seeing more. I've been seeing more 1-1 Scizor in the build, in the decks. And I've been playing against it a little bit more. I actually kind of like the 1-1 Scizor in Gholdengo. I like it alongside the baby Gholdengo, which this build doesn't have the baby Gholdengo, but Dunsparce and Scizor in here. Why play a 1-2 line and not a 2-2 line, I guess? To minimize its prizing effects, but not to the point where it takes up another space in the deck, basically. Why the 1-0 2 Zoroark? Okay, because you have more outs to your basic Pokemon than your evolution Pokemon, but they don't want to. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play. He only ever sets up a one line of it in games, and didn't want to commit 4 spaces to the line. And it made more sense to play 2 Zoroark than 2 Zorua. 2 Zoroark before 2 Zorua, but didn't want to take up 4 spots. All right, let's keep going. More Gardevoir, Bradner. We know the list. It was the same as Henry. Joseph here. Squawkabilly, but nothing crazy. Grant Shen. That looks like the Hedrick 60. Dude, there's a lot of people on the Hedrick 60. He didn't want to commit 4 spots to the lineup, and 2 Zoroark made more sense than 2 Zorua. Is basically the reason. Bro, like Caesar now and is playing Poison Package Arch today. Is this an alternate universe? The Drixty, yeah, everyone's on it. Here we go. The highest placing Charizard deck from the tournament. Charizard, Pidgeot to Dunsparce, Dusknoir, Klefki, Chi-Yu. I don't even want to think about this one. There's a Grand Tree in here. All right, Flareon, Noctowl. I don't even know how deep we're going to go, to be honest. I don't know how deep we're going to go. We're just going to keep going until we stop seeing interesting things. The highest placing Terra Box, Nicholas Moffat. Bro, didn't Moffat... I need a quote tweet Moffat and call him out on Twitter. I'm pretty sure Moffat said... oh, I closed the list. I'm pretty sure Moffat said that he was only going to be playing the BDIF moving forward. Not going into the... Maybe it wasn't going into the season, though. It was like going into this year or something. I think it was like, going into 2025, I'm only playing the BDIF. And then he rolled up with... Dude, what did he play at the tournament before this one? Dude, I forget what he played. I was going to call him out based on that. But then he rolled up with Terra Box here. It's not a bad deck. It was actually not a great play going into this tournament. But it's not a obvious bait. What do you mean? How is that bait? He's just like, I'm gonna play the BIF moving forward. How's that bait? Dude, whenever someone like doesn't not everything is bait, chat. Just because someone says something that is stupid or silly or that doesn't come true or they don't do it, it doesn't mean it's bait. I feel like everything just gets written off as bait these days. All I'm trying to say is I think Moffat should start playing the BDIF, bro. Not Terra Box. Terra Box is fine. It was not a good play for this tournament, though, I don't think. I don't think Terra Box was great this tournament. Jack Carter here, another Guardy build. Sugar Box, some Mortys, nothing crazy. Everyone's down to like no Poffin. Dude, how many Poffin was I playing in my Guardy build? I feel like I had 4 Poffin in my Guardy build, so I was trolling. Our predictions for the meta based on past Japanese results and personal testing. Predictions for the meta are based on past meta results, not specifically Japanese results and personal testing, yes. Personal testing and personal meta predictions. Mustafa. The Hedrick 60. Owen Rhodes here. Another no Nor build. Klefki. All right, we're going to keep trolling until we find something cool. All right, here we go. We already found one. All right. Jack Hatch, highest placing. Our Chaladon Zoroark is the trolley build. Ents Castles, the Black Belt, the Turos. This deck is sick. I don't like the only one counter catcher. I don't like that. Played the Vengeful Punch. Got the tech in there for the Pikachu. Dude, there is no. Dude, I forgot how to pronounce it. Cirano. No, Cir. Oh, no. I get him up better because it KOs Badoo. Well, no, we just KO Badoo with Hammer in, though. Maybe. I mean, we got him on the Hammer in, but maybe. Christian Fontenot here. Raging Bolt with Owls. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep scrolling until we find something more interesting. We've seen the top half of the decks now. Let's look for some more interesting decks as we go lower here. Cyrano. Oh, Cyrano. There it goes. Cyrano. This build had a Pokemon League headquarters. I mean, I guess for the Bolt matchups, the Bolt matchup is like kind of cool. Klefki, Genesect. Oh, this is a Monkey Dory build actually. Klefki, Genesect, double Monkey Dory, double Dark Energy. Honestly, these builds with the double Monkey Dory, like I feel like the Luminous Energy is probably just better in these kind of builds. Like the triple, I thought the triple Luminous Energy from Tanner was like kind of cool. Especially if you're going double Monkey Dory, I feel like the Luminous Energy makes way more sense because having like double Dark Energy and drawing into those when you could be drawing into like a Luminous like makes no sense, right? Yeah, like makes no sense. Air box, nothing crazy. Airbox Iron Thorns. Yo, Iron Thorns actually is like kind of cool right now because Guardy doesn't play Fluttermane or Klefki, or most don't play those things. So Iron Thorns literally can just go knockout, shut down your Gardevoir, which is like also shuts down Fez. Oh my gosh. Dude, you hit the Gardevoir with the Iono, you hit him with the Iron Thorns. Can they recover? I don't know. Will they recover from that? I think they're cooked. Yo, Miraidon's back on the map, baby. Put the Iron Thorns in there, we're cooking. I like Iron Thorns right now. Seems kind of cool. Also, Guardy's going to get more popular moving forward. Iron Thorns is going to be better moving forward. Just think about it. Actually, could Quad Thorns... Oh, geez. Can Quad Thorns make a comeback if no Gardevoirs actually play a way to deal with it? Is it time? Get 4 Thorns. Quad Thorns is back. Let's do it. I'm ready. No DTE? Oh, no DTE. All right, never mind. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. All right, Miraidon's away. Miraidon's away. You appreciate 7 months there, buddy man. Sanctorapico's here. Dunsparce, Gholdengo. Y'all know I'm a hater. I'll stay a hater. Cleffa, we didn't. This is the first Cleffa I think we've seen in a Dragapult build. Everyone else is just like all in on Badoo, hoping and praying. You not replace 40T with 4 electric generators? No, the deck does not operate with that. I want to play competitively, but I don't want to be a meta slave. That's just pick up a deck and start grinding it then. I mean, it's really hard to find like holes in the meta where you can bring like a truly unknown deck. And like you say you want to play competitive, you can play competitively and just not do well. Like that's fine, but it's gonna be really hard to be like, it's really hard. It's gonna be really hard to succeed and be like, I'm gonna play G and Pow to this tournament. So like you have to like, there has to be some picking. You can like find the max potential for some decks that are not like super meta. Like we've seen that happen most recently, I think, with like Roaring Moon. So there's like room to do that. There is room to take a like non-meta deck and then do well with it, but it's gonna be a lot harder. It'll be a lot harder. Why'd I stop on that one? Jackson Ford with the Dragapult, Charizard, the Dews, the Looch, playing on Fair Stamp, Brox and Jack. The Flaring got that top 16, for example. Well, I guess it depends on how not meta you want to go. Like the Flareon deck was like a known deck, and I would say I don't know if maybe I wouldn't call it a meta deck. It was definitely a known deck. Like, it depends on how far you're trying to go. Like there's plenty of decks that are pretty decent, like stuff like Flareon, like a Flareon's Caliber. Yeah, I guess I don't know how far you're trying to go to not be a meta slave. We'll go Dragapult from Caleb, same one as Grant. We talked about it earlier. Jacob. Oh, so was this the one that someone was mentioning? Wait, how is this like extremely anti-Badoo? Someone called this anti-Badoo Zoroark. What is so anti-Badoo about this Zoroark build? Seems like a pretty standard research Zoroark. What am I missing? I gotta be missing something. I do like the Luxray in here though. Honestly, the double Defiance Luxray with the triple reversal is kind of cool. I like that. They just tell Badoo no. Oh shoot, yeah, of course. How could I forget? It looks normal. That's what I'm saying. Like it looks like a research Zoroark build. The player was anti-Badoo probably. Oh, they want Badoo banned. Okay, that makes sense. Here's this from Callie White. We saw on stream on day 1, but I guess did not have a 65th here. Not have an extremely good day 2 showing. With the double Brox. No Jack though, just double Brox. And I don't know. Let's see. How much further should I even go? Well, that's the top 64. Maybe top 64 is good enough. Here's another Zoroark Archaludon. That's pretty cool though. It's cool to see those Zoroark. There it is. I forget how to pronounce it, dude. Cyrano. Got it. Got the Cyrano in here. You gotta have the Cyrano in here. You gotta find the Zoroark somehow. Go to 92. Oh my. Oh wait, is this it? This is it. Mike, it's Mike Morton though. It's not Yella, but that's the deck. Gholdengo, Quad Klefki, 1/1/1 Pidgeot, Now I don't know if this is yellow's exact 60 or not, but Cyrano. That's the 4 Clefty, bro. Gotta shut him down, bro. We gotta shut him down. We gotta shut him down. For anyone who doesn't know the lore behind this deck, I played against Yella on stream last week, I think. And I just played Terrabox into his Gholdengo. And his Gholdengo was Gholdengo, Quad Klefki, Sarah Ledge, 1-1-1 Pidgey. Go to 92. All right, I'll go to 92. Our Chaladon double is this? Yeah, Dante and the Toadscroll. Bro, the Toadscroll, dude, honestly, I think Gholdengo next tournament is... Dude, I think people might be coming for Gholdengo a little bit. It's just so easy to tech for Gholdengo. I don't know. I guess Toadscroll's not that good against other stuff, but honestly, Toadscroll, even taking away like Dragapult's Night Stretchers is kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe. I also saw, dude, so cringe, but I saw Henry tweeting about Crushing Hammer, and it got me thinking a little bit. I was like, he was tweeting about Dragapult Crushing Hammer, but I was like, I don't know about Dragapult Crushing Hammer. Crushing Hammer in general is pretty good against Dragapult. You just have to break out of the item lock. So if you could play a deck that is super efficient at dealing with Badoo, dude, honestly, we just need something like Yoga Loop back to deal with these Badoos, bro. Give me Yoga Loop so I can deal with these dudes. But yeah, Toadscroll, I don't know. We saw Genesex, Toadscroll. Like, people were... I guess at this tournament in general, people were teching for Gholdengo. I don't know if we'll see any more extreme techs being included moving forward or not, but... Tank Terapagos. Or Dragapult. Ooh, Poison Our Child. You know we skipping that one. Are you... What? Another one? Yo, people were just on this. Yo, did you do like a masterclass or something? Huh. Or were you just like... Yeah? Oh, wait, you did? Oh, okay, that makes way more sense then. I was like, there's no way. Why are so many people playing this deck? There's no way. There had to be like some more information being put out there. There's no way people came to this build. There had to be like the yellow to people playing this at Atlanta Pipeline somewhere. Put out a Meta 5 video before? Okay. That makes way more sense. Or that makes sense. That makes sense. Stratford here with the... I saw Stratford's build, I think, on Twitter. The Tatsugiri in here. Bro, you gotta have the Tatsugiri. That's a broken card. Yeah, I'm excited to try this deck out. This deck is pretty sick. Davidson here playing the build. Henry 60. What do you guys say? You want me to go down to number 92? All right, we'll just keep scrolling here and see if we see anything cool before 92. JW Wall on the Dunsparce, bro. Chill. Get that out of your deck. Dude, I'm so happy that I was just right that the Dunsparce sucks. I guarantee the play rate of the Dunsparce in day 2 of regionals is going to go, like, it's going to be like down like 80% from what it was. For sure. It's going to be down like 80% from Atlanta, like for the next major. Like, what is it, Milwaukee? Yeah, come Milwaukee, it's going to be like 80% less the Dunsparce in day 2 for sure, or more. Because that card is garbage, bro. Take it out of your deck. Holy smokes. Unless you're not trying to win. Listen, if you're just trying to have fun and make day 2, more to Dunsparce. Get him in there. Brent Tonneson, the no Poffin build. Cleffa, though. Adam Kalamat. The Dunsparce. All right. I made it. Oh, it showed up. Let's go. The deck showed up. Blaziken, Greninja, Zoroark. Someone tweeted about this before. It wasn't... Ben Hayes was not the person who was tweeting about this deck before the tournament, right? The person who was tweeting about this deck before the tournament was someone in Asia somewhere, right? But Ben Hayes was like, that's pretty cool. Rolls up with it. Edwin Bach. Yeah, Edwin Bach. That's who it was, yeah. Ben Hayes is not Edwin Bach as far as I know. We see Ben Hayes here taking it to a day 2. The Blaziken, Greninja, Zoroark deck. It's a deck I definitely want to try at some point. The deck looks pretty sick. I mean, all trolley decks are kind of sick. I mean, what are we saying here? You know, all trolley decks are sick for sure. So, gotta give it a shot. Broken deck. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, it's just, you set up Blazikens and Greninja's attack. Mirage Barrage is kind of broken, and then Zoroark's your draw engine. That's basically it. If you could not play Zoroark in here, that'd be nice. But it seems the draw engine seems nice for sure to have. Ooh, I kind of like this split though. Actually, the one Scyther, one Caesar, one Caesar. Yeah. Dude, I really don't like the lack of Baby Gholdengo with the Caesar in here though. Cause like being able to play like a one prize deck for like 3 turns, we have to go like one prize or one prize or one prize. It just seems so good. Yeah, I don't know. I really hate the lack of Baby Gholdengo in this build, despite having the Caesar as a one prizer. Like I feel like being able to go back to back one prizers against certain matchups is just so good that I feel like you gotta play the guy. This one also has the Brute Ball Net in here with the ancient energy booster capsule, so you can get through Pikachu. That's why it's in here. You got the Brute plus the poison capsule to get through Pikachu. Because you knock him out with the damage and the poison actually gets the actual KO. How come Baby Dango is so good in Dango decks? It's just a one prize because it's a one prizer. Usually your deck is like super focused around one prizer, so it makes it way harder for your opponent to like. Yeah, it's just good. Yeah, Baby Dango's just broken. I wouldn't be caught playing a Dango deck without Baby Dango right now, to be honest. That guy's insane. Jeremy Gibson with the Zoroark EX. Bro, you gotta have the Bombardier, though. All right, let's get it. What does this thing do again? If you go first, you can use this attack during your first turn, search your deck for up to 3 basics, and put them onto your bench and shuffle your deck. We have 2 Ends Castle and 1 Badoo. Bro, we are not using this on our first turn. Wait, is it for the second attack? You may put this Pokemon all cards attached to it into your hand. Get this bird out of here. There's no way. Cornerstone? Oh, does it beat Cornerstone? Oh no, I'm gonna lose my. Oh wait, it doesn't lose my place anymore. Usually when I clicked on this and I went back, it would lose my place in the list. You may put this Pokemon all cards attached into your hand. Read the second attack. It's for walls with Power Glass. It's lit. Okay, so you hit for okay. All right. I don't hate it. At first I thought it was for the first attack, bro. I was like, what the heck? But you could do that as well, I guess. But yeah, you go attached, put Power Glass on it. Your opponent punches. Wait, what if the Melodic? No, they're not going to use Melodic against you. You're good. What do they use against you? Cornerstone, right? They Cornerstone punch you, and then you go attach, cycle it back to your hand, put it back down, put it back in the active, attach. They punch it. Okay, it works. Cyrano sighting, 3 Cyrano. No Arven. It's just a Cyrano build of Zoroark. Interesting. With the secret box. Cyrano Iono. I don't hate it. Only 1 Ultra Ball. Dude, I feel like you could whiff Zoroark's turn 2 with this build, though. I'm not gonna lie. That feels a little iffy. I don't love it. I like the idea of not trying to play Ultra Ball with Zoroark. I think Ultra Ball and Zoroark kind of sucks, to be honest. I feel like we're whiffing Zoroark turn 2 pretty often with this build. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not feeling it too much. You appreciate 2 months up there, Cryuga. Welcome to the pack. This is Liam's List Trust. Bro, he had Pidgeot in his Archaludon, bro. All right, up next. Tank Terrapagos. All right, I think that's enough lists. Maybe we don't have to go through all of them. We're like a third of the way through as of right now. I think we call it here. And I think what we'll shoot for in the future is probably top 64, unless someone has something to like specifically call out. Actually, I'll give you all a chance in chat right now. Is there anything you want me to look at here? Look at 101. Oh, it's just Frostlass Monkey Dory. That's nothing crazy. Try 110. All right. 110. It's Frostlass Monkey Dory as Pathra. Not a fan. 113 is Gamer. What did Gamer play? Guardy? Pretty basic Guardy though, right? Nothing crazy. Yeah. 138, 183. Where we at? 138. And Trapper goes with the Okie Dokie. Wait, I saw someone tweet about the what matchup is the Okie Dokie for? When is this guy making moves? In mirror match? Mirror? The Mirror Breaker? All right, I'm gonna go to 183 here real fast. Yeah, from now on, we're gonna take a look at the. That'll be our go-to. We'll be looking at all top 64 lists. It's a good number to 183. Oh, the Blissey. Okay. Now you're capping for this one. You're trolling. Look at 260. All right, last one. 260. The Mammo. This is the only Mammo on day 2, right? One Mammo made day 2, bro. Believer. A true swine enjoyer. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. I think Mammo will have its moment. I think Mammo needs the meta to be pretty narrow. I think the meta is too wide. I think Dragapult's probably pretty tough, especially with Dusknoir. But I think Mammo could definitely have its moment, to be honest. I think Mammo, it'll come around. I think it'll come around. I'm excited for the potential of Mammo's future, for sure. All right, that's going to do it for the Atlanta recap.